Let everybody know. Let's go find. Y'all got to take the trash cans down.
I'll take them both down.
And there's a box still up in the backyard. Yeah, y'all got to take down there. Hey guys, how's it going? Sorry, life is crazy. Let me let everybody know I'm getting on. I'm using my new phone for this live, so just in case it's looks a little weird or anything, trying it out. Oh, that's job related. Let me go to the real room. Nope, I need to go here and here. Let's go live. TikTok. And I think I have it on my clipboard, don't I? Is that it? Is that it? At least get you somewhere near there. There's a one. TikTok. There's one. TikTok. Yep. Yep. Delete those other two. Delete. I thought they were all my TikToks, but apparently not. Probably those ones for the training material. There we go. And we'll go to Messenger and let them know. Let's go. Yay. Thanks, Kay. All right. What is this supposed to say? What has she got? What number is that? 936. How's everybody doing? I'm still sitting here trying to get answers to questions. So when I do my notes, I do them like with no margins. So if you guys are hitting print and printing out my notes, don't forget to go inside your printing settings and change your settings to no margins so that it will print all the way to the edge of the pieces of paper. Why are you in here, Travis? I'm going to lock my door, please. Thank you, love. Bye. He's been in here every 10 minutes. Sorry. Not even that. He was just here 2 minutes ago asking about towels and telling me about trash cans. So to prevent your notes from getting cut off, y'all need to change this to 0 margins on the printer. It's not an 8.5 by 11 normal print. You got to physically change your printer settings. That's why it's better to view them as PDFs as they were intended on to be, and not print them. And when you have questions and need me to answer what it is, I'd really appreciate just not posting the entire thing over the internet. But that's cool. 936. Let's see what that's supposed to say. 936. Because I'm writing over somebody else's material. Oh, mod exempt exempt 51. So if you print as I photograph with the whole thing, because my PDF will have that bars listed there, you'll be able to see it. And all I am doing is acknowledging that those zeros with the X is just that modifier exempt. That's all for those. Yep. All right. I got this. And let me go into here and take a picture for her. And then send that to her. But, I mean, if you want to ask and you want to post it over the internet or whatever, just take a picture of the note that you can't read instead of the whole PDF, the whole freaking page of all the notes. Just my handwriting. All right. What I wanted to do tonight is, some of y'all do not have the AAPC HitPix Level 2 book. Maybe y'all are using Optum's or somebody else's, and there are 5 at least guidelines that will be on the CPC exam that if you don't have this one, you would be at a disadvantage of. And I have some that are practice questions from the AAPC, my school, not the school course, but the teacher course, that are listed. The answers are on the wrong page. So I've had to, because they're actually on different page numbers. I think sometimes like that was last year's page number, and now this is this year's page number. But even though they say it's the 2022, they just changed the year and they didn't, from 21 to 22. I don't know what they did, but that's way off from 632. The answer is on 529. But anyway, so I've been trying to do research to figure out what page the correct answer is on, so that those that do have the correct book, you can update your notes here for the guideline or compliance ones that we need to mark, and then the ones that don't have the AAPC version of the HitPix can write in these notes here so that they don't miss those 5 compliance ones. Let me just reply with this. Print with no margins. Entire page for notes. Entire page for notes, and not just 8.5 by 11. Anytime. All right. So for this first guideline, we're going to go to page 529. The people that don't have the AAPC version of the HitPix book, and they might have it from another company, might not have these general coding policies, and then might not have the CMS publication 100 references, which are required to know where the answers are for some of these compliance questions. I can't remember, is there 3 or 5 or something like that? I've got 70 practice questions in this one batch for the compliance area. Let's see, and we are supposed to be looking for 529, which isn't even in those 2 sections. Good gracious. So this cannot be it, can it? 529. How am I on the... Where are they saying this is at? What page does this start with? Oh, Lord. See, even this... book here is giving me trouble. How do I figure out what page number I'm on? It says I'm on page 529. That's not it, though. The page does not look like that. It's supposed to look like this. It's got the ICD-9 stupid codes on it. But it's telling me about the hemophilia clotting factors and the 0636 revenue code. It's telling me about that. And all it's concerned about is the hemophilia patients. Which of the following is the contractor not responsible for? And it's an increase in pricing being forwarded to them, and that revenue code. And right here, we're not supposed to, it reduces, so this contractor is responsible for. Not yet, AT. I am, Queen. I just opened up Thursdays. I have tutoring on the website where Thursdays are open now, so you can book away whatever you want to do. Hey, Cashmere. Hey, Go-Kart. Mary Ann. I'm on E&M. 2021 book. Anybody know such a good site for practice test? AAPC is the best place for practice test because they are true to the AAPC format. I've tried all kinds of different sites like this Exam Edge and stuff. Their exams are crap. They're awful. Don't do that. I've tried COC or CCO. I've tried lots of them. None of them are going to be in the same format as AAPC. I've even tried some of the books from coding workbooks and stuff, and everything you buy just is not of a high quality. This book right here, I mean, it doesn't even have, it's terrible. It even has, we haven't been in the ICD-9 book for over a decade, and that's all their ICD practice exam questions are. So just getting stuff that isn't crap, that's super bad, not edited, has repeat questions in it and stuff like that is pretty rough. We're finding a couple of answers wrong even on the AAPC curriculum, but only 2 so far in a year that I've been working in their practice questions. They're $70, $75 for 150 practice exam questions, and that's really the best place to go. In my Discord, I honestly have practice rooms right here with CPC practice exam questions. And you can scroll back all the way through and see all types of practice exam questions. And these are from people's courses and CPC, every little thing. We also have CRC practice questions, COC, CPMA. And I just made a new practice room yesterday morning for cases. And I've got our first one in here that is super long. I got to post the answer for. Some people have been trying. And if you wanted to even practice questions. So our Discord room and server is a great place to, and these are free, so I mean, no spending some more money. It's better to have it when it's free, right? I can't believe this thing is telling me it's on this page number. It's got to be wrong. What page number? Why are you saying it's on here? So I'm on the HitPix PDF version of the book, and because I was having trouble finding because they have the wrong page number down, I was looking for the correct page that they had the correct answer on for this hemophilia thing. So I'm just sitting here looking for it real quick. Let's see if we can't find it here while I'm here. Let's see. We can look on. They're saying 632, and it's supposed to be around congenital factor there, and then we're going to go up to these 2 bullet points, and it's going to be it reduces. So right there. So we're on page 633. If you have the HitPix book from AAPC, we're going to be in the first column on 633, and the 3rd bullet point is one of their questions for the CPC exam. It has to deal with hemophilia patients and not passing. They had an A, B, C, or D answer, and all the answers were wrong except for one. So you just needed to know to come to this page, which is under this bill that is payment for clotting factor administration of hemophilia patients. And then you needed to, and my problem with this section is because these 100, this is an Appendix L, this 100 Appendix L thing does not have like an alphabetical index in it at all. You're just given this header, and then there's no A, B, C, or D. What is 101? What is chapter 3, number 30? It starts out with chapter 1, goes to chapter 3, and then it's only picking out just a few of these references. How would we know in the middle of all this, or how to reference where certain things are? I haven't figured out how are we going to have to put tabs for hemophilia? What are we going to do? How would we know to find this if you're in the middle of a CPC exam and I know there's a hemophilia guideline in the middle of this? How would I know where it is? Because there's no way to alphabetize or single look up something, a particular rule. How would we know that? Anyway, we're here, and we're here. So we only needed to find one that is true. And so you would just search through these 3 bullet points or 4 bullet points, because these are the ones that are true, and pick the one that is correct on the exam. But I got to figure out, can I look up hemophilia in the front of the book and it may be indexed to this page? I wonder. I know we have a little bitty index thing, but I thought that was for nothing but for the looking up the HitPix codes. But let's look and see. It's the only other thing I can think of. Y'all are really good at coming up with good stuff. I got hemophilia clotting factor. Yep, it's just telling me J codes, but it's not telling me where the laws would be. So that's unhelpful. There needs to be something. How in the world would... I have no idea. But highlighting it in pink does help a little bit. I mean, if I'm just flipping, then I'll eventually run into a pink, so that's nice, but it probably won't be the one. I have 70 questions, so practice questions. When I start updating all this, only the 5 that you're going to need to get to. How am I going to... Maybe I could do, well, depending on what the questions are, we could do different highlights for different things. But as I'm doing it live, that's hard. Hemophilia is more looks like blood, so we'll do a pink color with that. I have baby blue, green, and yellow, and orange is my other colors and highlighters. So as we go through these rules, we can assign other colors for other kind of things, maybe. It's still rough. Rough. Hey, Annie. Hey, Twinkle. My back is killing me. That's why I'm a little grumpy. So I got a pinched nerve, so don't think it's you guys at all, just by the way. My back is just screaming at me. I can sure speak. Life is crazy, Kim. It sure is. Oh, I loved all the butterflies, Kim. Those are beautiful. Yesterday was worse. Thank God I still had some steroids from somebody's a-calling. Something. I don't know who that is, but somebody's calling me during tutoring. Anyway. Butter Pecan, my Tennessee friend, ESP. I have not uploaded. Have you sent out an updated version of what's been on the exam? Nope. I am trying to get that ready for, is it this weekend? This Sunday's, what am I calling that? Study group. It's a workshop. So everybody's been asking me to go over it. So I'm trying to update it right now for Sunday's workshop and do some new E&M questions too. I found some really cool guidelines I'm going to show you tonight that are super cool. They're like, oh my gosh, all that peds, critical care, and hospital, and the trachea thing. I've been working really hard to find all those answers to all those questions, and I found even more craziness. Now, I know they are going to update the E&M guidelines again for 2023, so it's crazy. We need to get these down for this year, but it'll all change come January 1st. So I hope it's not too confusing, but I know they're going to be doing the outpatient, and they're going to be doing the ones in those peds surgery centers, and they're going to be doing critical care, and they're going to be doing observation. They're redoing those guidelines. So we need to get this exam under our belt. Have you thought about doing any sessions on Sunday for what has been on the exam the last 45 days? Yep, that's what I'm going to try to incorporate on this workshop on this Sunday. Absolutely. So is it an app? Sorry, my connection keeps getting frozen. I'm not sure what you're talking about. It's Jenny. Let me look. What else did she say? I hear Harry Potter going on. No, that's Lord of the Rings going on in the living room. Life is crazy. Jenny, I don't know what you're talking about. So is it an app, or my connection gets good, that you are going by? Oh, the Vitasource, the book. Is that what you're talking about? This book? Where I buy the PDF versions of all these books in case I can't find certain things. I can do a Control F and look for particular words in the whole book. That's super helpful when you're trying to teach, this kind of stuff, and you don't want to look through 1,000 pages and try to find one word. My eyes, I'm already 50-something, so it's hard. It's hard on the eyes to be looking at all these books all the time. So that's why I buy those. And then my AAPC thing is just online, but you got to have access for that. Have you figured out how to index the appendix? No, I need y'all's help with that, Annie. Hey, Butter Pecan, I hope it's not raining there. I'm in the 2021 book and I don't see it. You're talking about the Hip Picks book? Oh, let me go see if I can find my 2021 book. Hold on. Takes me a minute. My right leg is just being mean to me. Okay. My boot's there. I pinched that nerve. Oh, trying to walk some miles on my standing, working. This is what you're talking about, looking for the hemophilia thing. So, I pinched my nerve walking on that desk treadmill. Felt so good getting it done, but my Lord. So when I'm in this index, how many pages am I back? I'm about, 20 good pages into this stupid thing. That's the hardest thing, is figuring out where this crap is at when there's no way to index it. Or it's like, what? Who did this? Who did this? So it says it's under 100, Chapter 3, 27.3. Chapter 20. Does anything? Okay, there's Chapter 15. I don't know. We go from... oh my gosh, even these chapters don't even go together like they should. Chapter 3:20. Chapter 3:20. 3:20. Chapter 3:20. Chapter 3:20. What the heck does that mean? Chapter 3:27.3. There we go. So it would be page 635. No, 634. 634, maybe. 635. 635. It is on 635. Okay. 635, there's this A/B MAC action, whatever that means, and we need to be circling this one, and they're just saying the contractor is responsible for the following, and this third one was their picked answer. And then we'll come over here to this page and do our hemophilia darker outline to catch our eye when we're flipping through the book, that we've got a guideline there. So if you're in the 2021, there you go. The first one that I want y'all to mark for sure, just in case. And then this is the 2022, which is on the 33 and the 32. for our hemophilia patients. And let's get our next question and see what the heck they're going to come up with next time. Well, I know where that is. That's not, we did that one last time, and that one's in the HitPix book, or the CPT book. So one of your guideline ones is on, like, in your CPT book, on page XVI. It's what the modifiers are, and they'll ask you about these A, B, and C, and D are what a modifier is, which one is not. And they used 3 of these that are, and 1 thing from add-on codes that was not. So you just need to pick out something that lets you know that it has an add-on code. So that was one of the regulatory ones that they did. And it ended up having add-on code in the answer. That was the wrong answer that they wanted you to pick out, if that makes any sense. And I'm sure it's around the same area in your 2021 book. You're in the 2022 AMA version. That's correct, Kimberly. You won't have it in an AMA version. And that means you're at a disadvantage taking the AAPC CPC exam with that book because you don't have it. You need to know those 4 sentences. You need to write that in your HitPix book somewhere under a heading of compliance. Do we have any free pages? We do have free pages back here in the back of your book. Hopefully your AMA version does. And so you know what's in this HitPix book is what I'm trying to do for you, is to let you make your notes. Write that sentence because that's important, and then write that sentence. But you also need to know that this is for hemophilia patients. So it's a payment guideline for hemophilia patients, and then you need to write that sentence down with that bullet point right there. That way you have it somewhere. Take some screenshots of my screen right now and find you some good areas where you can write this information in some book somewhere. And don't forget you have it during the CPC exam. If you are mostly in your CPT book and you are afraid you won't go look in your HitPix book, then you've got note space in the back of your CPT book that you could do some of this stuff. There's those 3 pages of notes areas that you could use. Whatever you want to do, I just want to make sure you guys have it, because you don't have the AAPC version of the book, and they didn't tell you that. Yeah, I might have to tab them. I don't know what we're going to do. I'm going to figure out something. I'm good at troubleshooting. It's just hard to do it on the fly like this, but if I don't do it during a live a little bit, then I won't get started. And once I get started, I can't let it go. So this is just a practice with you guys to get me started on this, because I have good intentions on getting this done. And right now, while I don't have the CPT book to update and make notes on, I need to keep focused and getting stuff out for you guys. I just finished a cool document for the modifiers, and I thought it was cool because it's got, of course, the main important modifiers listed, and then it's got whatever their definition is, but then I do like an explanation after it, what that means, and then any other coding tips and things you might need to know about it, and then I do some coding examples. So if you're going to code it, there's some coding examples to go along with it. So that's pretty cool. You can write those in your book, but you know, it's kind of cool. So anyway, that got finished and put up this weekend if y'all need it or care about the modifiers. A lot of y'all learn a lot of them while you're working with me, and I show you them on the exam, so totally up to y'all. Just one of those projects I wanted to get done. And I didn't do every modifier, and in case y'all didn't know, every single modifier, whether it's HitPix, CPT modifier, or what have you, it's all in your HitPix book. You've got a whole list of tons of modifiers, no matter what version of the book you've got, and they start from A1 and go into all kinds of letters and number combinations through the entire alphabet. There's just hundreds and hundreds of them. I don't know how many there is, really, all the way to V5. Right now, we got X2, XU, so all the way to XU from A whatever over there. So there's a million of them. If you get hit with a question during your CPC exam and it looks totally weird for the last 2 digits because they've added a weird modifier or something, they're all in the HitPix book, no matter what. All of them are there. I found some new cardiology ones that I know the CPC practice exams haven't shared with you. You know, we have the RC and for the right coronary and left main for left. But I found some more cardiac ones back here, and I put them together under cardiac on that modifier worksheet that I thought was cool. I think there was something that was I something. Probably won't be able to see it, but yeah, I won't be able to see it, find it off the top of my head. Oh, they got one with my initials, JB. Administered sub-Q. That's cool. All right. Rates just when I was feeling prepared on my exam on Saturday. I know. I should have done this a while ago. But it took me a while to figure out that you guys even had that issue, that you don't have what's in all the HitPix don't match, and I didn't know that. So it took me, a while to figure out y'all don't have these guidelines in the back. It's only 5 questions, but geez, Pete. A lot of them you do know the guidelines, and they're not so obscure like this one. This one just struck me as really difficult, and because it's a practice exam one, I can't imagine what the real life one would look like and how to find it if this is this difficult. So now I started stressing over it and worried that I don't know about this. But this one we would know. That's a guideline one because that's in the front of the CPT book. So I know you're prepared for that one. There's other ones like the radiology question about when radiation therapy is performed. It's a guideline one. Which healthcare professional does it? Like cardiologist, registered nurse, a radiologist. Well, it's not a radiologist when it's radiation therapy. It's a radiation oncologist. So that one, 2 is in the CPT book under the radiology section. When you get to radiation, it'll tell you the type of doctor to give it, and then that's a good one just for the simple ones. Let's see. For the HitPix, there's a couple of codes. Let's see. Let me think. I think it's like A. Some things are really simple and you'll be able to find it even if you've never seen the question before, which is handy, which is nice, but some of them could be more difficult. But this one will be easier. So let's go to A9270. Even no matter what book you have, let's go to A9270. Let's see. A 9270 right there. So they gave us a list of HitPix codes, and some of them are, just regular DME. Some of them are miscellaneous stuff. But the one thing that they want you to notice is which one of the codes has a guideline that says service is not separately priced by Part B by Medicare. And all they're asking about is which code has those specific words actually written underneath here. And just knowing which line to look at under a HitPix code is all they're wanting you to know right there. If whichever one of the list has those words listed, then that's the one you pick as the answer. Unless the question says does not have services separately billed. So that's one guideline you need to make sure you note of, that Medicare is just not going to pay for that. You see how this one doesn't have it under it? That lice infestation, they're going to make you buy over-the-counter head lice stuff. They're not going to pay for it, probably. But it's super cheap, so they might pay for it. Depends, but it looks like right there, it's Part B isn't going to pay for it anyway. So they just want to know. There is sometimes, some of them have a statute listed, like a state law or federal law, and then some of them don't. So that too could also be one of the questions that they might ask. Which one does not state a federal law or a statute? So there are some that are different. So just know about that kind of stuff. Just those little differences. Can I make the camera what you're marking? Can I make it bigger? I don't know. Does that view help some? What page did you say it was on? Fidea, I miss you. It's good seeing you. And your sister is such a hoot on Instagram. She is so funny. I really enjoyed tutoring with her. She is funny. And I miss tutoring you too. I hope you're doing okay. Oh, where was I at? 633, somewhere around there. If that page is what you're talking about, I'm not sure. But right now, I'm on page 127 if you're in the 2022 AAPC HitPix book. I think it was 633. Somewhere around there. 33, 634, 632. Lord, yeah, 633. And we just need to know that is a guideline for hemophilia patients. It's a payment guideline for hemophilia patients. And it starts out with this contractor is responsible for the following. And we need to know that they reduce the pricer of charges. They don't pass along higher prices to the patient. And they use that revenue code 0636. Take you some screenshots of them and get them written in if you need to, if you don't have an AAPC version of the book. Now I'm on 127. All they did was have a question about a list of HitPix codes, and they just wanted to know which one had service not separately priced by Part B, not hepatitis B, by Part B of Medicare. Which one had it? And the answer was 99270 if you went through the entire list to look. Thank you, Tricia. Thank you, thank you. Amy, I hope I answered your question. ask again if you're still looking for a page number. It was on the 70 questions part you were showing. Yeah, it's a teacher site. I tried, but I didn't see it anyway. AP needs to address this Appendix L. Yes, they do. And they need to tell you that you're at a disadvantage for questions if you don't get the AAPC version, just like with their ICD-10. If you don't have their version with their decision trees and other things in it for the diagnosis codes, or for the guidelines that are in the front of the book, they do a lot of their own decision trees that I'm not sure all of the versions, like the Optum version has, and they'll quiz you on those. It's 1 or 2 questions, but still, you need to know that. This is the one for their, you see how they changed it? This is their front guidelines in the front of the ICD-10 book. They modify the guidelines from CMS to put in their own charts, and they may ask you a question on this one. I've seen the question about this chart because they do the hierarchy of abuse. If your doctor says they use and abuse marijuana, you don't code both. You use this chart and you code by the hierarchy. You would only code abuse. If a patient uses, abuses, and is dependent on alcohol, you use this decision tree and you only code dependence because it's the highest one, if that makes sense. But anyway, there's a lot more other examples of that throughout your book that they did themselves, and then they might ask you what's the third decision on the blah 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 chart. And if you don't have these, you're at a disadvantage. 1 or 2 questions, but still, it's 1 or 2 questions. And if you don't have the AAPC version, then you don't have their charts. So I just figured that out within the last couple of months, that this is going on and that y'all didn't have what I've got. And I didn't know until I found practice questions noting those specific areas over other ones. We've got the guideline for contrast. Which one is not considered contrast? Hopefully all of y'all have got that one marked right now. It's in your radiology book. It's in the very beginning of radiology in your guidelines. If you're in the 2022 book of the CPT, which is pretty universal because of AMA writes it, we're on page 525 if you're in the 22 version, and it's that last sentence on the second paragraph right there where it's talking about administration of contrast. Right here, that oral and rectal is considered without contrast, even when they administer that contrast rectally or orally. It's still considered without contrast. You bill without contrast, even though it says oral contrast given. So you can't just pick, and that might be some of the reasons why some people get stuff wrong in the radiology section. Your 2 CPT codes say with and without contrast, so you just skim the note for contrast. You do see it, so you pick the code with contrast. Slow down a second and make sure it doesn't say oral or rectal before it or after it, because if it does anywhere in that sentence, and they might say the patient was given contrast and the patient did well with their contrast that was given rectally, and it might be, several little words after or several little words before, not immediately before and after, because they're tricky. So if you see the word rectal or oral, that means without contrast. Be sure and pick the code without. So that's one of their guidelines to be sure you know. Let's see. Urine presumptive test reporting. Yep. We know that one is going to be that and that. Yep. That one's not important. Which section of the CPT uses time? Oh yeah, that's anesthesia. Which one of the CPT books, no, sections, uses time as their main coding factor? And the answer is anesthesia, of course. So we know that one. Which of the following is not PHI? Driver's license is not. What is the percentage of CORF services are based on? So this one is going to be on page 582, they say, in the HIPICS book, which is in those coding guidelines somewhere. And what percentage of CORF services are based off of? So we're looking for comprehensive outpatient right there. We're looking for that one. Comprehensive outpatient rehabilitation facility is what that stands for. Maybe I should mark out. They list out what that word means here? Probably not, huh? Do they list it out somewhere else in the section headers? No? All right, maybe we should mark up what that is because somebody might not know. My pen will write. Comprehensive, maybe they'll know that. Comprehensive outpatient rehab facility is what that is. So payments for comprehensive outpatient rehab facilities services is 80% of the lesser. Is all their question was asking. And then they had 100%, 20%, 80%, or 90%. And all we needed to know is that one rule. So if you don't have the AAPC version of your HIPICS, please write down CORF equals comprehensive outpatient rehab facility equals 80%. Oh, put payment equals 80%. And that's simply the entire question. There wasn't anything fancy or explaining anything. It was just that. So, and if you didn't have this book, I don't know if it's listed anywhere else, like in this. Oh, my book, my thing. Sorry guys. My new phone. It's got the off button on the wrong side here. Hopefully the camera view is easier. So on page 582, I don't know what color I should mark up this one. I don't know. Rehab is blue, maybe. But I need to flag it some way so that when I'm flipping through here, I'll see the blue. Maybe that'll help. Oh, yeah, those steroids and Advil, few days on a heating pad will make the hip feel better. Beautiful thoughts. Yay, Kimberly. Love the butterflies. Hey, Michelle. Good to see you. These practice questions, Jenna, are from the curriculum as a teacher from AAPC. Hey, Mean, how's it going? I'm sure she knows all the answers to these questions. Can you show the other page as well? Which page? Sorry. Let me know which page, Kimberly. Appear to be their info. It is their info. This is an addition that AAPC puts in only their version of the HitPix book. They put several little things back here in the back about status indicators, payment indicators, coding edits, general coding policies, and then the last thing they add back here is these 100 unindexed randomized CMS updates. So these are direct from CMS about Medicare and Medicaid payment policies, and it's just 100 of them, and they're random, like chapter 1, 10.1, and then it goes to chapter 3, 20.5. It's just as random as can be. Absolutely. As random. And that's stressful to be thrown in here and not know. I don't even know how in the middle of the exam, if you didn't prep these, how would you even know where they're at? I mean, how would you even look up the word CORF in the middle of these 100 pages if you got lucky and saw it? I mean, but that's a whole lot of pages to skim for CORF, because there's no way of knowing where it would be because they're all randomized. And man, yeah. What does the circle around the bullet mean? Means that bullet specifically was the one that ended up being the right answer that they wanted for that particular practice exam question. That's all. That's all. Where can we get that document? I've got it on Etsy. The one about the modifiers? Yes. What's the correct answer, Red? What page? Oh no, I forgot, but I did check CMS website for a reference to Appendix L and found nothing. Wow. Yeah, I can believe that. Now they had a, didn't they have a small little statement about it? Okay, it says disclaimer. That disclaimer, I'll read it. Let's see. Appendix includes relevant sections, random, meaning, of the CMS Medicare and Medicaid publications 100 info, but is not an all-inclusive document. CMS updates policies and procedures frequently. The information contained here was the most up-to-date information on the CMS website at the time of printing, whenever that was. For more recent updates, visit the CMS website. Now, I'm sure it's not a complete list of all the Medicare and Medicaid publications, and I'm sure it's just relevant ones that AAPC might want to ask you about, or enough to keep data hidden inside of it that would make you lose your mind looking for. Enough, you know, I don't know. I mean, the next question that pops up, unless I had this thing to do a word search for the electronic PDF, I don't know how you'd find it. I mean, that argues to be able to bring your electronic PDF versions of your books with you for the exam so you can look up that information. There'd be no way to look it up manually during the middle of that exam when you've got 2 minutes each. I couldn't do it. I've been trying to look for this one with the hemophilia for 3 weeks at least, and I gave up and then thought, oh yeah, I've got the PDF version. I had not even put in the codes. I put in the codes for the CPT and the ICD-10 already, but I never did for the HitPix book. And I've had access to that since July of last year. So anyway, I finally put in the codes and brought up the book just this week and then found it. I spent a lot of time spinning my wheels looking for it, trying to look for it manually, and couldn't even find it when I had the page number. I still couldn't find it. It just didn't see it. All right. Okay. What was shown regarding the modifiers? Was it different book? It is. I made a different thing for the modifiers this weekend and put it out. It's this thing. It's got like the modifier listed, and then it tells you the description of the modifier from the book, and then I explain it, and then I tell you some tips about it, and then I give you some coding examples with it so that you've got some coding examples for the modifier. So I finally finished that document. It's like 61 pages. It's on Etsy if you want it. I think it's like $18 or something. But I found some cool new cardiac ones that I liked, and put all the little feet and stuff together, and I don't know. Hopefully it's helpful explaining some stuff. Anyway, good evening, Michelle. Good evening. Red, thank you for the page number. Hey, Fadia. And good job, Go-Kart. And can we tab this book with our own tabs? I believe so. I have no idea. I don't tab anything, but if there's tabs, there's plenty of tabs here in the front of the HipHicks book. For guidelines, we could write hemophilia right there, and don't put them on the side, they'll just get in your way, but use them up here at the top of your book. So if you needed, just stagger them and then write just hemophilia on one, and then CORF on the second one that we did, and just tab them up here, staggering from way over here. You got plenty of stuff right there. You could do H for the hemophilia and C for the CORF too, so one idea. Just don't put them on the sides, it'll get in your way. Let's see, whatever the next one. And I do have some practice stuff, but I also wanted to go over a cool E&M guideline that I found. In a minute. Oh yeah, that's easy one. And what part is not considered review of ROS? So if you don't know what ROS is, number one, be sure to know what that acronym is, ROS. That means review of symptoms. And then you can go to the front of your E&M section into your guidelines, and you can go to the page where the review of symptoms is on there, which I think, yeah, it's going to be on page 10. Nature review of symptoms. So right here where it says review of symptoms, that's your ROS. Be sure you know this. It has a list of things that are A, B, C, or D. Which one is not part of the review of symptoms? So all they're wanting you to do is to find one that they gave you that's not on this list. So be sure you know where this is. It's on page 10 of your CPT book. And you're going to find one that is not on this list. And that would be current medication. So that's super handy dandy. Easy guideline right there. Magpie. She's tearing up her crap tree. Just clawing away at it. I've talked about this one a couple of times about what is a complete abdominal ultrasound. So you would, if you don't know what would be included in a complete ultrasound, it lists a bunch of different organs and you don't know where to find that, just look up in the back of your CPT book, look up ultrasound, and then that'll send you to a CPT code with ultrasound in it. And then once you're there, you'll have some guidelines and it'll tell you which ones are included in it. I'm trying to get there. So we've got, starting on page 547, you've got your diagnostic ultrasound listed with some guidelines. But we turn another page to 549, you've got your abdominal ultrasound. They list out all these items that are in the abdominal ultrasound. Don't forget that your aorta and your vein is included in a complete abdominal ultrasound. Then they have what's a complete ultrasound of the retroperitoneum, what things would be in it, and that's a list of items right there. So super cool, just a small little area, but it's really important, especially when they give you two lists of things and two of them start out with liver, and you think it's just the gallbladder, common bile, and pancreas, spleen, and kidneys, but they forgot about the veins and the arteries, so don't forget about those. It's a full list. So that's where that guideline is. So thankfully not all the guidelines will be in the HitPix thing, but just for that hemophilia one and the CORF, I don't know where you'd find it if you didn't know exactly where it was at. Hold on, I gotta get up. Oh, the cat wants out of the room. Oh, Lord. Ouchie, magpie. There you go. Okay. So I got this old dictionary thing from AAPC about a month ago, and it's only about 2,000 pages thick. It's pretty intense book. It's ungodly amount of pages, but it's a coder's dictionary and reference guide, and it's only for E&M. So it's pretty cool, but I've been gandering through it looking for help, and knowing about those tracheotomies that we were talking about last week, how I had a patient in critical care and they were already admitted in critical care for a couple of days, and this was the second visit, subsequent hospital visit, and the patient was in ICU, and they ended up needing to be trached inside of ICU, and they were able to bill for the 31500, something like that. It was a trach, and I was wondering how they were able to when the pediatric ones say you can't bill to trach them if they're already built in NICU. And so when I got to looking through this book and was reading all the different guidelines for pediatric critical care, adult critical care, neonate critical care, and inpatient critical care, they flip-flop around like crazy. Peds you can't, neonate you can't, peds you can, adults you can, but it's just back and forth and gets really, really shady crazy. But one of the other things that I found related to that was, we have a guideline about 5 and younger. You bill our 99, those 99 inpatient critical care pediatric patient codes for E&M. we've got some different guidelines for those. And what happens when a child changes age from 5 to 6 years old, but they're in critical care, already in there, and they turn 6 on like day 3? What the heck do you do then? And that was one of the things I ran into in this book that explained it, and I thought it was really cool and wanted to share with you guys. It's not a question or anything that I've seen on the CPC exam, but boy, if they could, I wonder if they would, because I thought it was neat. Let's see. What'd I do with it? Oh yeah, I put it under tonight's live, maybe. I did. Okay, we're going to go down here to the bottom, and then we'll go back up and do the practice exam questions. Well, I said we were. Trash cans gotta go down. Trash cans. Where? Oh, maybe I put it on the 5,000s, did I? Oh, good Lord. Well, I'm not finding where I typed it all out at, of course. Who knows what I did with it. But we'll start with tonight's questions, and hopefully I'll run into them. Somebody had another question about one that I went over earlier in the week last week, about the blood vessels and arteries and stuff in an angio. And of course I'm on the wrong one. Where is tonight's live? Here we go. Go right here. And I thought I'd bring that one back up again tonight, just to go over it one more time. It was another one of those guideline ones that if a patient has an angioplasty, which part of the body is being operated on? Is it the heart, the blood vessels, the capillaries, or the arteries? So they're around page 324. And they have all of these guidelines that start here and go here. It's just a lot of guidelines that go through there, but they're just asking basically what's being worked on here. What's being worked on. And technically they are all blood vessels. So instead of saying they're just arteries or just veins or just the heart, they wanted to be very specific in saying that they're working on the blood vessels, and that's the answer that they want. You can write that particular thing in as notes near this endovascular transcatheter area, that angioplasty equals blood vessels. That way you've got it for the next time you see that question. Just wanted to make sure. They also go into a definition of angio is part of 2 words, angio and plasty. They tell you that the prefix means blood vessels and that the plasty is repair. While arteries, capillaries, and heart are related to blood vessels, they are not more likely to be involved in an angioplasty. That's why they're not directly included. Gotta love their wording. So looking at these codes, I kind of like the 40 and 41, so I'd run there first. Let's see what's going on with those codes. Marianne, hey, you're back from your doctor's checkup. Do you still need to reschedule your tutoring? Are you the one that was having some things done and needs to get their tutoring rescheduled? Just message me on my website. You know, I'll get you in whenever you're ready, if that's what's going on. I hope everything's going well. It's awesome. Yeah, she's an 20206. She's an LPN. How do I get this certification? All you got to do is go to the AAPC, buy a chance to pass the exam. Just buy the exam and go on and get 2 tries just in case. And that's all you got to do. You don't have to buy a course. You don't have to buy any research material. You will need a CPT, a HitPix, and an ICD-10 book. If you're looking for a cheap way, go get the ICD-10 and your HitPix, a 2021 version, preferably the AAPC version. Get a used copy off the internet or at your local Goodwill. And then get your CPT book, make sure it's a 2022, and get started making notes in your CPT book, which I have it step-by-step listed at medicalcodingbyjen.com under book prep for free for you. Just click on the picture and it'll tell you what to do. And you can prep all those books and then come here 3 nights a week, 2 hours, 3 times a week, free on TikTok, where I go over practice exam questions from AAPC or something similar or something that I've made up, and go over these practice questions with me, and I'll teach you how to find the answers the most fast and easiest, efficient way possible, because that exam is pretty challenging, but it's best that you don't have any billing or any kind of a thing like that going on, because it's not real life coding. It's kind of pretend coding, so you don't want to so don't feel bad if you don't have any experience. That's what you want if you want to take this exam. So I'm on page 753 and I'm looking at 40 and 41, and just knowing the differences, we've got a technical component only on the 41 because it's just the tracing only, and the 40 is a total with everything. I'd look up these 2 first because out of all the 4 answers that are available, those 2 are numerically similar is all. That's the only reason. I could be in a totally wrong spot and not be in the correct spot, and we'll see. So this is just an ECG with 1 to 3 leads. Is that what we're doing? We're doing a 2 lead. So we could be in the right area. We just need to know if it's just the tracing only or if it's an interpretation. So it looks like the interpretation was done too. So how would you bill? What do you guys think? Yes, Marianne, get the AAPC practice exam questions. It's $75 for 150 questions. You can get exam A, B, or C, or D, E, and F on their website. AAPC is where you should go. Let me see, which one do I need to do? I need to do this one. And mind. See, I just redeemed the HickPix book. I swear to Bob, I just did that. I'm like, yep, that's all I did. So if you want to buy the practice exam questions, go to their training and events. Go to CPC training. Scroll down somewhere around here. Do you need to do start here? Do start here. Then scoochie down till you get right here where it says, right here, CPC practice exam. Click on that, hit learn more. Then you can just buy their practice exams. So if you're a member of AAPC, which you got to go on and pay your membership fees, go on and pick either bundles, that and that. You could do both. If you really wanted a bunch of questions, that's 300 questions, but it'll cost you. Throw it in your cart. Don't buy the course or anything else. What, Travis?
Okay, so Haley and Aaron just came by the door and they wanted to know if
No, you can't play unsupervised outside.
No, James and me.
No.
If we can go outside with them.
No. You have to be supervised.
James is my supervisor.
James is not a very good supervisor. He can't even do his own laundry.
He's in the shower right now.
Good job. You think you're going to go outside and your brother's in the shower too? I should have locked the door when I let the cat out, but I didn't. Sorry. Okay. So don't buy any of the courses, any of the other material. Oh gosh, come on, stop it. And then we'll go into agree and hit add chart. You don't have to buy both sets. You can buy one set, have a friend buy another set. I didn't say that out loud. And then pay for those. It's about $70 per set. It's $150. And then when you do purchase them, they show up under here. You have to go to My AABC. Always check to make sure you haven't already purchased them before. Go to My Purchased Items. Then you go to Items and then click here. And this is where you start your exam. I got a lot of them purchased, and then you can go like here and just start your exam. The cool thing is that when you go into them, there's 50 questions per. You can just go through here and just look at them and pick out the correct answer that you think, and then go on and hit grade. You don't have to sit down and have 50 minutes of time needed to do all of them, to do all 50 questions at one time. You can, if you have 5 minutes, do one question at a time. Answer it. Sorry about my phone. Answer it and then get your right answer or not. Your rationale will be right here. Sometimes it's helpful, sometimes it's not. But these questions will help you more than anything if you not only just figure out what the right answer is, but go see why every single one of these codes is wrong, and then why, even if maybe the sequencing is wrong, or what's wrong with B, even if it was the right answer, what would make it wrong? Those kinds of things. What's our differences here? Like this is a big size, this is a little tiny thing. What are our differences in all these codes? That's super helpful. When you do figure out what the right answer is, look in your question for any main terms that are capitalized, like they used Kessner stitching or a particular instrument. What did they do? What was so fascinating about this one that made this answer the right one? Probably nothing important on this one. But they did use some steri strips, and remember, we don't code or bill for steri strips, so that's something cool. But anything that is not here underneath these CPT code descriptors that is inside this question that could help you remember next time you see these two codes together that we were doing whatever it is in the question, that could be helpful. I make my notes beside my CPT codes from those questions. So that's super helpful. But back to our practice question, if I can keep my thingy going here. There's my live stuff. For our ECG, our workshop is Sunday at 2 p.m. Arizona time zone. Hey, Mean, I'm stuck in one question on CPT code 80156. Ooh, I bet it's a good question then. She is so technical, y'all. She's good. So let me go look at 80157. 80157. It's 80157. That is our anticonvulsant Tegretol level. So the total is part of 56. 57 is the free, and that just means the drug level seizure meds is what my notes have in it, that the total number or the total amount, the total of anticonvulsant Tegretol in the body is the 56. The 57 is the level of seizure meds in the body. Does that make any sense to you, what I wrote for those two? Maybe that'll help. Some of them are just quants, some are qual, you know. So I wonder if that helps. Yeah, the question doesn't say. Did it say the that thing about it being quantitative or qualitative? Did it say, did they want a therapeutic level or a definitive drug test? I wonder, like the presence, quant and qual. You got to be sure and know your differences in those particular 185 and 80156. They're both the same, but one's total and one's free. The first one is you're looking for the dilantin, you know, to prevent seizures. But from what I researched online, the 80186 is better than the total because it does the active proteins in the medication, and it's a better than the total, than a level of the seizure medicines. It does a level of the protein in the medication, which I thought was very interesting. So I wrote those notes down. It's the only thing that I could find, but I Googled them to find that information to figure out what the heck, why would they want to order a total versus a free, or a free versus a total. And that's what I found out about those. I have not seen those on the CPC exam, or had people report them back. But the last one I'll go over is also 80164 and 65. It's also a total and a free. The total is, of course, an anti-seizure bipolar and prevents migraine medication. And they say the free is better or more useful for calculating a dose on that one. So they can do a total, but if they actually wanted to know how that protein is being absorbed in the body or not from that medication, that it's better to use the free because it can calculate or give you the correct percentage of the actual protein that's not being absorbed and is just floating around in the system, or if that's where it's supposed to be, that kind of thing. What would be considered default? It's, from what I researched online, it's really the doctor's perspective, but I believe if they're calculating dosage, it's the free. But then again, sometimes I don't think that the doctors are smart enough to know that difference themselves. So I bet they calculate dosage just based off symptoms, not on levels in the bloodstream. A lot of them just, well, 50 micrograms didn't help. Let me boost it up to 100 and see. They don't really do in real life this kind of cool stuff that you could do. So, but from what I found over the internet, which has nothing to do with AAPC wants the answer to be, so it depends on who made the question and who we're doing this for too. That throws a factor into it also. But from a medical standpoint, I believe it's the free is used for calculating doses, just when you want to update it. I hope that helps. I mean, not hurts, but helps. How do you know where to look for this stuff in the middle of the exam? You got to be quick-witted, for sure. It's not fair. I agree. Oops, is my battery dying? Hold on. Yes, my battery is dying. Let me plug up my cell phone. Have I gone over? What time is it? No? Okay. Yeah, I have a feeling that ebooks will become the only thing we can use one of these days in the CPC exam, which will be pretty scary, though, when you can't do this on an ebook. So I fret the day that anybody has to pass that exam. Yeah, sorry, guys. I am stressed already about anybody having to take that exam on an ebook. I mean, some things might make it a little easier, but a lot of it won't be helpful at all. One more hour to go. I know you must be in pain. I am. Sorry. I'm in pain, Miss Sanchez. I believe I have either a tear or bursitis in my left hip. Woo! Yeah, Saturday was the first time at night I was like, I can't move my leg. That was the weirdest thing. It was like, and I've had sciatica off and on, doing little injuries here or there, but maybe once a year, maybe once every 2 years, nothing permanent or long term or anything. But that was the first time I was like telling my leg to move, and it was like, it ain't going nowhere. It's like you lose that part of your body to function, and that was crazy. Like, no, we're walking, let's move it. So, yeah, I was like, oh. So, yeah, it hurts, but it's better. I went and hit the steroid cabinet, which is so bad. You're not supposed to be taking steroids. But it's the only thing you can use. And that and Advil, naproxen. I haven't sold practice exams in a long time, not since last year. If I try to make them up, there's too many human editing issues, or some people weren't happy with the amount or enough, or it just I'd rather just show you the questions and just go over them with you than sell them, because I don't have them in a format that could grade it and show you rationale and be more helpful. Just having a PDF document with a bunch of questions and a bunch of answers written down, I don't know how helpful that really is. I don't know. I just quit focusing on that and made more attention on notes and presenting good questions that were part of a curriculum that was geared towards the exam. So I haven't. I should, but I wish I could. I've looked into a bunch of programs that I could build a database so that y'all could go in yourselves and take the test online, by pressing A, B, or C, or D and doing it timed or something. There's a cost too, because you've got to pay for, I don't know, it was you can pay for a whole year, which is $1,000, but then you only get 1,000 uses. So like only whoever could take the exam 1,000 times, but that I've got 10,000 followers. How good would that be if only a tenth of you could do it once, and then for that price? I don't know. It just seemed crazy. So then I wrote a code to do my own on my website so that I can build my own. And I have the code and I have it written out and I've tested it. But then it's just copy, paste, and put in every little A, every little B, every little C, every little D, all by myself. And then the question, and then I got to mark which one's right. And then if you get it right, I got to put in congratulations on every single one. There's no automation to it. And then the ones that is wrong, I got to tell you the rationale and then I got to fill it in with every single wrong answer. So then it's a lot of manual labor to create one with my own code, which I can do. It's just, I'm not single with no kids and no life, and well, I have no life, but I don't know. I don't have enough energy for that at my age. So it's just a lot. I'd have to, but then if I outsource that to somebody to build for me, it's just, they won't do it the way I want it done. Oh. And what if they make a mistake, and then I get complaints for mistakes, and it's a lot of work to build up one of these things for sure. So I haven't done it. I've done the research and tried, but haven't found anything that was user-friendly that could, I just wanted to take this document, import it in all the spots, but I don't have anything like that right now. So no, he's so cute. He is a pain. You want to borrow him for a week? Travis, I'm trying mean. What do you think? Do you think that helped? I hope that helps. Butter pecan, I am not patient. Not when I got a grumpy backside, that's for sure. How not only you take the time to answer the questions, but you fully demonstrate well. You rock it. I try. Oh no. Hey, Trinessa, sorry. I had a little time today, but the sciatica was working up. But we'll tutor in the morning, girl. I got you some more E&M. Oh, boy. I am not the best teacher. No way. Hey, Cashmere, I will. Just a little pinched nerve. It's all right. I missed you, too. 3 days without you is rough. It's like I start having withdrawals. I start looking up your Instagram. Miss Edwards is the one that does our juicing, so she's awesome. Y'all gotta follow her. It's like according to trend, just the same thing that's on her profile here. on Instagram. She makes the most beautiful fruit juices in her kitchen or backyard. It's just so cool. See her Florida home and watch her make all those juices. It's amazing. It's really cool. So we'll get back to our ECG2 lead with an interpretation goes to which CPT code? I love answering your questions because they are not run-of-the-mill questions. Those, when you ask a question, it is really worth asking. That's for sure. And it's things I try to prepare for, but I know nobody's going to ask, but I know she's going to ask. She's good. She'll be such a good coder. Everybody's saying C. Yep. Y'all know that's the answer for sure. We've got C, and we're on page 753. Yep. And we do have some explanations here about some of the different types of ECGs. I remember one of these was on my exam, but I believe it was the 12 lead, and they were out of sequence or something. But this was, 2018 and 19, and I couldn't even find the EKG in the stupid CPT book to even answer the question. I don't know if I got it right or not, but I believe it was this one. That's the answer that I picked because it was the 12 lead. I can't remember if it was supposed to have the interpretation or report on it or not, but that was the answer that I gave them on my exam. No way, not 15 minutes more. I gotta find that E and M one that I did. I know I typed it. I wonder what the heck I did with it. I just got so many documents. Y'all would not believe how many freaking documents I've got up of all this stuff. No telling where I wrote it. All right, anesthesia. So I've got two that are 30. So I'd go look up that 30 first. Look at me. She knew which one was the 12 lead. Well, some of them, I don't know if the question said without interpretation, because sometimes you just want the technical component being billed, where there was no reason to do the interpretation, like the doctor just wanted the thing and send it back to me, the piece of paper, and I'll interpret it myself. But some of them want them interpreted by a remote physician, usually is what's going on. So our 30, first thing I would be looking is to see if there was an age in that CPT code descriptor, like there is an age in some of them. If there's not an age in it, I would make note of that so that I know I could use my qualifying circumstance code, which is that 99100 that I have a note up there for. That's an important one for anesthesia, that if you have a patient of extreme age, you need to add that one. And since our question does have a possible answer with the 91, they probably are talking about a person with extreme age. So we would need that 99100 since this code does not have it in there. And we are doing the transverse pacemaker. And we were underneath permanent transverse pacemaker too. Ooh, I can hear the Arlendale song playing. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but they got the surround sound playing. Yep, we are D. D is our answer. They do have some guidelines. We're on page 77 and 79 to go along with it about the extreme age. They do make some comments about some of the other answers, why 32 and 34 are not the correct answer. 32 is for a central venous circulation, which has nothing to do with the pacemaker, and then the other one is for a transvenous pacing cardiodefibrillator. So make sure you pay attention to the noting, and we are just doing a pacemaker. No worries, MK. I will post it up on YouTube. No, it doesn't. Does it feel like a Monday to everybody? I don't know. It feels weird since the 4th of July threw us off this week. Now to have a 5-day week just seems to just throw me off. I don't know why. Thank y'all for all the shares and all the hearts. I got 7,000 likes tonight off this crazy menagerie of a freaking live I'm trying to do. Okay, back to radiology. So 82 and 85 are super close. We'll see. I was working with somebody who didn't pass their CPC exam, so AAPC came back at them and said, okay, you can buy 15 more questions in E&M to practice for, I don't remember how much money, but when she did buy those extra questions from each section that she did lower in, some of those practice questions were a little bit more challenging than the regular A, B, C, D, E, and F, which was interesting to see, but they also didn't have a lot of the similarity thing. So I think they were closer to what's really on the CPC exam, which is cool if y'all have any ideas on getting in any particular section of some section that you might have done low on. They were particularly a little bit tougher. It's been fun to go through those and work with her on them. I just thought they were interesting because even the ones that I have access to, the teacher thing, is still not as challenging as some of those were. So I thought they were cool. I'm still working on getting them typed up and so that I could show you some variation of them. But anyway, I thought that was interesting. A lot of their stuff is not worth the ink it's printed on, as we would say in the South. But those were cool. So we got a limited joint and or a infant with move and with aunt. Yep, lots of that kind of stuff. So we've got some ultrasounds, non-vascular extremity or of the hips. The more practice exam questions then. So I'm not sure why, but when she didn't pass, not by much, like a 62 or something, they offered her radiology E&M 4,000 and 5,000, extra 15 questions to buy. I don't know if it was in a specific email. I've tried also looking at their site to see if I could find it to buy, and it's not there. But I guess you have to have failed the CPC exam. So you bought the 5,000, 6,000, and it was hard. It is hard. That's what I was saying. It was very challenging, but it was very cool to figure out why the right answers were right and then the wrong answers were wrong. And most of the time, it was your giant headers. If you're not paying attention to whether you are doing laparoscopic or an excision surgery, then you'll get the answers wrong because they have the same exact surgery listed in both areas. So if you happen to pick a code and you go to it, but you don't pay attention to your big header to make sure that you're not under, and I'm not talking mama code either, because mama code would get you in the wrong spot too, but I'm talking about your blue and red headers. If you're not making sure you're there first, laparoscopic, excision, or subcutaneous surgery, then you're going to get the whole thing wrong. So you got to do these questions in step. But all of the CPT codes weren't close to each other because they picked the CPT codes with the same surgery but listed with different routes, if that makes any sense. And you had to make sure you were under the correct route first. So it was super cool. It's on their website, she says. IMKS have a set of reminders in my phone that helps me to stay on track. I wish I had access to buy them all. That would be so cool because they are very cool. Or at least see them somewhere. I've been trying to find the ones that we went over, even on Quizlets, and they're not on there. Nobody's posted them yet. So it's like I can't find them. So anyway, I just have to find somebody with them to see what they look like. You're looking for G and H. I know the online exam, if you take the online exam, they have a G and an H version. So if that's where those exams are. Where's my mouse? There's my mouse. So I was working on what's been on the exam last 45 days. Get down here. That's where you're getting the exam H or whatever. Like, where is it? Somebody's header. I had exam H is what she said, or exam G. Those are the online exams. So when they do a part 1 or a part 2 or a part 3 of whatever's been on the exam, I won't be able to find the wording right now on the fly, but there are, you know how when you take the exam in person, you have exam A, B, or C. And there are different versions of A, B, C, or D, C2, C3, but exam H is an online part of the exam. It's somewhere in here where somebody says that they had exam H. Anyway, that means that they took the exam online. Might be. The baby was breech here. Yep, you're welcome. So the baby was breech, and he undergoes a dynamic ultrasound of the hips for dysplasia. There are lots of babies born like that. So everybody is thinking 8.5, I think. Y'all are good with the 8.5. We're on page 553. And again, they've got some descriptions on why the other ones are not correct. The 20 is a Doppler. 82 is limited, like I said. Hey, Chloe. I got a cat staring at me wanting food. She's harassing me. I can feel her eyes burrowing into me. I can't believe, what did I do with those ones with the true and false? I went over that one today about which of the following is not considered PHI, maybe? No, I didn't go over this one. It was the driver's license number. And again, this one's going to be in our HitPix book on page 689. So that's another one I got to go find and highlight in that 100 section later on. But it's killing me. I wonder what I did with those true and false E&M ones that I wanted to go over with today. What in the world quiz did I write those on? No idea where I wrote those. So I'm just looking, still searching the computer all around, looking for those E&M things that I had written. I didn't put them in the compliance quiz. There's no way I would have done that. No. Didn't put them there. And they're seriously not in this live. Okay, let me look. I wrote true or false. Here they are. So I just wanted to go over these guidelines for E&M tonight. I don't know if I'll have enough time to explain it all, but I thought that was cool that they had a few of these in that fancy E&M book that I showed y'all with the like 2,000 pages that was just all about E&M. And I ran across some sentences that I just wanted y'all to know that is true. Both of these are true. So if you wanted to make any notes about these in your book, you could. That the 99486, this is our pediatric peds critical care services, applies to our inpatient, neonatal, and pediatric critical care services only. And that is true. Our other statement is we are supposed to use hourly critical care after the age of 5. So after 5, that means 6-year birth date. So once they turn 6, we are supposed to use the hourly critical care after the age of 5, which are these two codes, even though they're going to start off over here in the 76s when they remain in critical care after the age of 5, and that is true. So those two statements are true. If you had a scenario where you had a pediatric patient who's 5 and they're critically ill, and the pediatric patient is in inpatient status, they're admitted, and it's 3 days before the child turns 6 years of age, how would you bill this if they continued on being in critical care? What would the bill sort of look like? You would use the global E&Ms, which they're calling, those are global, because they do everything all in one code per day. Initial, then subsequent, those kinds of things. Hourly is not considered global, so that's why they're using that verbiage. But you would use the 99475 on day 1 is what you would use. And then your second, third, and fourth day, because you just got to wait till they're after 6, you would use 99476. And the last 2 to 3 to 4. Yep. And then when you got down to the day of their birth, or I guess it's their birthday, right? So when the child turns 6 years of age on that 5th inpatient critical care day, you would switch to using my favorite E&M code, which is the 99291. And Lord, if they were admitted for 24 hours, what in the heck? That'd be a times, I don't know what, but that would be an awful long time to code critical care for a 6-year-old. Where's my chart for 99291? Right there. Boy, and see, they do those for the hours though, but I guess it would have to be the critical care that the MD was there for the office visit. You don't bill for the total admit day, so it would have to be just the MD's visit for that day. So if he was there for 1 hour or 2 hour, you would bill that for the 6th day. I know it seems confusing, but I just wanted y'all to see that fascinating scenario. There's no practice exam question for this one, but boy, it could be a doozy. If you had an inpatient for 6 days, during that scenario where they were there for 3 days before they turned 6 and then a couple of days afterwards, what would you bill? So I just thought it was fascinating. Yeah, you just bill the 99291, but that's only for 30 minutes to an hour and 41 minutes. So I guess we'd have to have more notations about how much time. Because less than 30 minutes, you use the appropriate E&M code. So would they go into inpatient hospital? But then if it was truly critical care and they're all in ICCU, I don't know. It's just fascinating. You would switch to the hourly critical care code. So we have to do face-to-face for that of the time that the critical care doctor was there working on them. So, and it would have to be over 30 minutes for them to meet that guideline. So just fascinating one. Just fascinating. Love the wording. Thank you, Twinkle. Let's do one more question. Let's do E. Oh, I don't have that one down. Let me get it back over here. We'll do one of those fancy ones from those practice exam questions that are more challenging, where the answer is not lined up and there's nothing, as you guys will see here, there's not a lot of similarities here. We're just all over the board, and that's what these new questions are from. Is if you don't pass the exam, they offer you to buy 10 questions per section for $15 that you did low in, and these questions seem to be more challenging. If patient is not 6 years old, you use those pediatric and hospital critical care codes, the 9978 or 74. It was, I don't remember which quiz I wrote it on to be able to find it again. Let's see. Yep, you're going to do those codes right there. So it's just these codes based off age. And so, and it tells you here that on day 1, you'll use this one. Day 2, 3, and 4, when they're still under the age of 6, you'll use this one. So it's 7.5 and 7.6 for 5-year-olds in critical care for multiple days. That'll be first day. This will be times whatever we've got. Yeah. day 2, 3, and 4. Or not times, you just put a comma and do the number again. 76, 76. Yeah. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, that kind of thing. Okay. Back to our confusing, stronger, more. None of them are really close. And even you've got 2 that are the 85s. And I'd at least start there because I like the 85-63. So 85, 58. I know what I mean, but I say it wrong. It's the bad thing about being dyslexic. I say it one thing, but read it and hear it in my head a different way. 58563. 58563. Is a histoscopy, or 71 is a histoscopy. First thing I need to do is remember that I need to look to see if we're doing anything by scope or excision. So histoscope is vaginally. We need to make sure we're not laparoscopic, but see, we are laparoscopic. So, and hysteroscope is vaginally. So we need to be careful about where we're at and what we're under. And if you notice, this histoscopy for our 61, 63, and 71 is under a header of laparoscopic histoscopes, but that's on page 446. If we look at our 58720, 58720, we're under the blue header of excision. And then 581, Lord, 581, 58180. 58180 is under hysterectomy procedures, and we're under the one that is abdominal. So that would be a full abdominal hysterectomy. So we did do laparoscopically. I like, yep. Yep, and it runs in patterns. I can do tutoring with 2 or 3 people, but still everybody goes to the wrong code. Even though I got 4 people there, it just, and they're all in 4 different parts of the country. The numbers just tend to, and it's funny because especially in those 992s, and then the 993s, and then the 994s, they forget to not look at the last 2 digits, but remember to look at the 3rd digit on the 99s. And we might be in the 993s 1 second, but then go to the 994s another second, and then back to the 992s. But the same ending 2 numbers could be the same. It's just funny. You're not the only one. Don't think it's just you. So I don't like the 8180 because that is histo-abdominal. And if you don't have some sort of way to get rid of them and draw a line through them, either by using a dry erase board marker on your computer during an online exam, or being able to draw a line through it when they're all in different locations, you can't remember or to keep your finger places in all the pages in your CPD book, it gets quite stressful to remember what you can't or need to eliminate. A dry erase board, if you're going to take your marker online, could help you in this particular area. If nothing is matching and you can't get rid of some similarities and you can't use a drawing pen, then use a dry erase board marker during your online exam. If you're in person, you get to draw all over your exam booklet, so just do one line, don't do too much because you might end up going back to that code, but pencil a line through it to keep you correct. But I know we're doing this laparoscopically, so I want to save anything that's laparoscopic for sure. Let's see. So my 587, that was my other oddball, right? The 58720. Is it under laparoscopic? 58720. It's under excision, so that's not what we're doing. We're not removing it by cutting open the body. And then that one was excluded for some reason I've already forgotten. So these two are both under laparoscopy, right? 585s. Yep. 58563 is using electricity, and 71 is a removal of it's laparoscopic with a total hysterectomy. And this one's ablation. Right, am I even in the right spot? 58563. Nope, we did do ablation. So that matches up with our 63, right? That looks good. So I've got histoscope matching, I've got laparoscopic matching, and I have ablation matching. So I think I'm comfy with that one. But these codes were not close. Only the 71 was sort of close, but it's still a surgical laparoscopic with a histoscope. This was one of the questions you bought too, from the 10 question. Yep. See, they're just a little bit more challenging to find the correct answer. It's not, and the codes are all over the place, and they all say something similar-ish, and just make sure you are really paying attention to what the headers are behind the codes. Just looking at the CPT or the MAMA codes is not going to help you, really. We need to make sure we're looking to make sure you're under histoscope, because some of the codes were under excision, and that's not helpful. And then the other one was like under abdominal total. See, it was underneath hysterectomy procedures. And you weren't under there. You were supposed to be. Some of them are blue, some of them are green, some of them are red header. Whatever the header is, you need to look for it. So we weren't under hysterectomy. We weren't under excision right there. But if you looked at the codes that they were doing, it might have seemed close to what they were trying to ask you to do. And then these two were different. But they had the removal of the tubes, which could have gotten you confused. So yeah, these are a little bit more challenging. I like to see them, and I have a feeling these are closer to giving you clues as to what you would see on the exam than any other questions I've seen lately. So I wish I could get my hands on them for every section, but unless I take the exam or let my don't do my CEUs and let myself not continue and then have to redo my CPC and then intentionally fail and then get that option to buy those questions on a second attempt. Good gracious. It's a lot of money and time. But I have not uploaded Fridays to YouTube yet. I am so bad. Twinkle, stay on me. Tell me to do it. Yeah, it does take a while, but there's ways we can mediate it. Is we do need to look for our surgical routes first. Am I doing an excision, a full cutting into the body to do something? Am I doing it laparoscopically with tiny little cameras in the body? Am I doing a repair, an excision? Those kinds of things are what we need from the question first. Get to the correct header code, which will be underneath there, like laparoscopic was cool. Only focus on the question, the answers that have laparoscopy in or near them under that same header. Eliminate the other ones and get them out of your way so you don't look at them again, either with a dry erase board or marking it out on your exam booklet, and then go focus on the finer details. Yep. Those are more challenging. I got some more we'll do on Wednesday. I just need to finish typing them up. So far I've got 10 of them here, but I only have some of the 4,000 and some of the 5,000. I don't think I have anything else that we went over, but I know there's a ton more, like Radiology and E and M and all that stuff. I'd love to have them all. I need to go take the exam again and just tank and buy all their 10 questions, because those are good questions. They're more difficult. For sure. I'm preparing to take my CCS exam, and I'm so stressed out about taking it. Can these tests be taken online? As far as I know, CCS was supposed to be all in person. Now, the other day, I had somebody ask me a question about CCS that was really cool, and I thought, why would they be asking that if they are not doing the online exam yet? I was wondering if they are. Right here. Here it is. It says important notice about CCA, CCS, and CCSP. Each question must be answered before navigating to the next question. Once you navigate to the next question, you will not be able to go back to the previous question to review or change an answer. After answering all the questions, you will not be able to review any answers at the end of the exam. Holy crap, they make you go from question one to question 2, question 3, without being able to second guess, skip anything, move on to your next question. I'll deal with that later. They force you to do one question at a time, and I'm assuming that means it's all online, but at a testing facility where they want you monitored. They don't allow anybody to do it remotely yet from home with a remote monitor, but I'm hoping that with AAPC being able to do it from home, and I know they had to have lost some revenue from that venue being open, that if they want to recoup and stay competitive in this market, they definitely need to open it up to where a proctor can sit in your home virtually and watch you do it too. But they have a very strict testing critique, but they let you bring a medical dictionary. I wish we could bring medical dictionary. You could look up any anatomy terms with ease with yours, so that's super handy dandy. Love it. In person with Pearson Q. Ugh. No stress, no stress. And they get no retakes with their CCS. We get a retake with ours if we fail, if you buy 2 exam practices. Used to be free. It was always free to get 1 retake within 12 months of your first failure. So that was always nice. Now they make you pay for it. But anyway, that is all correct. All CCS exams are taken at a testing center. Aw, that's crazy. All right, guys, it is 9 p.m. here, and I am like, what, an hour and a half over? I'm almost at 20 minutes till 3 hours, so I don't know. 20 minutes over. Yeah, I'm getting tired. I feel it. I've got some more questions. We'll go over some more of these on Wednesday. I got to go download Fridays and tonight's and post those up on YouTube for you guys. Ooh, I hear somebody in the hot tub. Nice. Oh. No retakes with a HEMA. Yep. You'll have to wait 45 days to retake. I recommend everybody wait at least 6 weeks before they take their repeat CPC exam. That's a good time frame. You don't lose what you have, and then you buckle down for 6 weeks and then retake it again. Also getting the ADA for the extended hour to take the exam, even if you take it online, is super helpful. That way you can spend more time with the questions. Is also super helpful. Absolutely. Y'all are welcome. You're welcome. I see you in the morning, Ternessa. I see you in the morning. And we'll do some tutoring. I got one person right after you, and then nobody after you on Wednesday. And I don't know. I opened up my tutoring schedule for Thursdays at 10 a.m. Arizona time zone. If anybody needs a tutoring, y'all can book it if you want to. Thanks. Oh, no worries. See you in the morning. Miss Edwards is going to be taking her exam this Saturday. Y'all be thinking good thoughts towards our Florida juicing queen. We need to get her passed for sure. Although I'm going to have major withdrawals from her tutoring. That's for sure. I will see you guys on Wednesday. I'm on Discord and Messenger if you need me, though. I will see you guys later. Good night. Ooh, 8,000 likes. Nice.